Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news. When you think about the Bills' offense this season, one thing is crystal clear. They're always looking for ways to get better, to push that extra bit of explosiveness that can make the difference in close games and playoff battles. And now, rumors swirling from some pretty reliable league sources like Adam Schefter suggest that a blockbuster trade could be on the horizon, one that might shake up the entire AFC East and give the Bills an even stronger shot at a deep playoff run. The team in the spotlight, Garrett Wilson from the New York Jets. Yeah, you heard that right. A guy who's been making waves as a young, dynamic receiver, potentially heading to Buffalo if the stars align. Let's break this down because it's not just a rumor. It's a strategic move that could change the landscape for the Bills. The Jets, currently sitting at 3-7, are in a total rebuild mode. They've got cap space of around $10 million, but they're leaking points like a sieve, giving up around 28 points per game. Their focus right now is on rebuilding their defense after some key injuries, especially along the line, with Becton missing 2 games due to a concussion. They're looking to free up some cap to make room for their next move, possibly to bring in a successor for Aaron Rodgers, who's been sidelined for most of the season. To do that, they're reportedly considering trading Garrett Wilson, a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver, for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. Now, for the Bills, this is huge. Buffalo, currently sitting at 7-3, is operating on a tight cap, about negative $113 million, but that doesn't mean they're not looking to add some serious firepower. Wilson, with his explosive speed and ability to make big plays, could be exactly what the Bills need to stretch defenses and keep defenses honest. His profile fits perfectly into their offense, which has been pretty good, but sometimes lacks that extra gear to break open games. Wilson's career stats are impressive. Over 250 receptions for around 500 yards and 20 touchdowns, with a reputation as a reliable deep threat. He's a guy who can turn short routes into major gains, and his YAC, yards after catch, average of about 5.8 yards per reception shows he's not just catching and falling, he's creating opportunities. What would Wilson bring to Buffalo? Well, first off, he'd add a dimension of speed and agility that could elevate the entire passing attack. Currently, the Bills rely heavily on Stefon Diggs, but adding Wilson gives them a true secondary weapon who can threaten defenses vertically and horizontally. Imagine Wilson stretching the field, pulling safeties back, creating more space for Diggs and Shakir, and opening up more options for Josh Allen. It's not just about the raw talent, it's about how Wilson's skill set complements what they already have. His ability to win contested catches, his impressive route running, around 80% route win rate, and his deep catch rate of 45% make him a prime candidate to be a game changer. This move, if it happens, could have a ripple effect across the offense. Buffalo's passing yards could see a boost of around 100 yards over the rest of the season, pushing their aerial attack to over 300 yards per game. That's massive, especially considering how much they already rely on Allen's arm and play-action success, which could see an 18% increase, raising their play-action success rate from about 47% to 65%. That's the kind of efficiency that can turn close games into blowouts and give the offense a new level of unpredictability. And don't forget, adding Wilson isn't just about the present, it's about building for the future. His age, still in his early 20s, means he can be a core piece for years to come. Plus, his versatility and ability to produce in the red zone with a TD rate of over 55% make him a reliable target when it matters most. The Bills could use that kind of consistency, especially in tight spots or when defenses clamp down on Diggs. Wilson's route win percentage of about 80% and his history of making contested catches suggest he can thrive in the high-pressure moments that often define playoff runs. The potential impact on the Bills' defense is also worth noting. While adding Wilson wouldn't directly improve their defensive stats, it can help keep their offense on the field longer, controlling the game clock and reducing the pressure on their defense. With opponents often forced to play catch-up against this Bills offense, Having a lethal deep threat like Wilson could push their scoring average from around 26 points per game to over 32, keeping opponents chasing from behind and forcing more turnovers. Now, looking at the big picture, this trade could be a major catalyst for the Bills' Super Bowl aspirations. A Wilson addition would make their offense even more potent, increasing their chances of winning in the postseason. Historically, teams with multiple reliable weapons in the passing game tend to thrive in the playoffs, and Buffalo would be no different. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl could shift dramatically, going from around plus 1,500 on the betting boards to as low as plus 600, making them even more dangerous contenders. Of course, there are questions to consider. Will the Jets be willing to part with Wilson? Will Buffalo be able to navigate their cap situation to make this happen? And how will Wilson adapt to the Bills system? But given the strategic needs of both sides, Jets clearing cap space and building for the future, Bills bolstering their offense for a deep playoff push, it's a move that makes a lot of sense. Wilson's addition could be the missing piece that takes this Buffalo team from good to great, especially with how well they've played this season. The implications go beyond just the offensive numbers. With Wilson in the fold, opponents would have to double him, freeing up Diggs and Shakir for even more production. Allen's efficiency could skyrocket, reducing turnovers and increasing explosive plays. And that, my friends, could be the difference between just making the playoffs and making a serious run at the Super Bowl. The Bills have been building toward this kind of moment, and a trade like this, if it materializes, could cement their place as one of the top contenders in the league. So what do you think, Bills Mafia? Is this the move that could send Buffalo to the promised land? Would Wilson fit into the scheme and become a true X-factor in the postseason? The excitement is building, and the coming weeks will tell us a lot. But one thing is for sure. If this trade happens, it's going to be a game changer, not just for the Bills, but for the entire AFC picture. We'll be watching every update closely, ready to celebrate or analyze, because that's what Bills fans do, always hungry for the next big thing. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Buffalo Bills news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think Wilson can be the missing piece for a Super Bowl run? Would you trade a second-round pick in 2026 to make it happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This is your team, your voice, and we want to know what you think. The Bills are on the verge of something special, and your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this franchise. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. Let's keep this momentum going, keep dreaming big, and keep believing that the best is yet to come for Buffalo. Go Bills!